Remember that?
I think I won.
There was that thing on Drake and Jaws called like the Game Sphere.
That's what I was thinking of.
And
it looks like this. I think they just use this.
No, I distinctly remember that it was red.
It was red.
It was.
With white text.
Speaking of consoles, wow. That was a segue.
Oh, you start.
Yeah, I did.
Of course you did.
We can like start. Dude, we can start again.
Start now.
Okay.
Now.
No.
Now.
Man, okay. God. So, guys. New consoles. People have been coming at me in the streets, beating me with handbags, and saying, Scrabble, when you guys are going to do a podcast about the consoles? And I say, well, whenever...
You stop beating me with a handbag, ma'am.
No, the point is now that Microsoft has, detracted all of their Skynet policies, like, I think...
As far as we know.
Yeah, I think Sony and Microsoft are much more at an even balance. The Wii, I know, is there too. You guys are weird.
I'm going to talk about the Wii.
Yeah, and you like Nintendo.
Wii U. It's not just the Wii. That's common misconception.
It's Wii against you.
Wow. That was great.
Yeah,
thank you.
We're done. Okay.
We're done.
so into debate, wins. Berserker Rage wins.
So let's get, let's talk about what do you think a new console should entail. What are you looking forward to that has already been announced? Not games wise, but within the system. And what do you think that, like, if there was going to be a new system, like, Dreamcast 2 came out, like, what would you want in your dream console? That was good.
Just Dreamcast.
Wow.
Dreamcast.
I want the Dreamcast 2. That'll probably be my thing.
So
but it'll be too advanced.
Yeah,
no
but
one
like
understand it.
It'll be,
and then Sega will go under again, and we'll just be like, "Damn it, guys, come on!"
It's made by a bunch of aliens.
Yeah.
So Leighton, you have a Wii U. Both of you guys, both Zerk and Leighton.
I'm Leighton.
Leighton. They have a Wii U. I don't, because I bought a Vita instead.
And you can already tell how this conversation's gonna go.
Whatever. Persona 4 done.
What else?
Metal Gear Solid.
What else?
That's all you need is those two. They could have just called it the Metal Gear Solid.
See, I can't say anything because
console.
half the people at that con want to buy Wii U for Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah. So anyway, guys,
we'll be laughing when he gets the PS4. He's like, I'm on the toilet playing this, and we'll be like, so are we.
Yeah, really. I'm also playing my 3DS too.
We've been
what
doing
up?
this much longer.
So, what do you like about the Wii right now? As
Look.
Oh, okay.
No, there is actually a huge difference because the
old
Wii
people
is
who are listening. They're like, I thought the Wii U came out.
A thing, yeah, because there's tons of grandmas just listening to this pod, just sitting.
Well, one of them was apparently hitting you with a handbag, so she's there.
Whatever. Hey.
Hi, Grandma. I still owe you $20 for that. Don't let me forget.
So, but no, serious talk, guys.
I've been stealing your Skittles.
You have?
No, I got like 5.
But it's okay. But no, here we go. The Wii U. Are you guys like excited about the current lineup? Like, is there something else that you?
It has a lineup.
Yeah,
that's what's exciting.
Yeah,
it did.
The Wii U has games coming out.
We bought it because I'm a fanboy and I don't care what it was. I was gonna buy it.
That's kind of how I went in there, but I was also excited that the fact that the Nintendo Direct thing was going on and they actually had plans for more stuff. You weren't just like, okay, I bought this. What else? Like the 3DS. You just kind of have a 3DS and you're like, oh, this is nice. I sure wish there was something cool to use this on.
3DS is awesome now.
It is, now that it has its games.
It's a 3DS.
Say hi, 3DS.
It's not.
Clop, 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 clop.
But yeah, like, so it came out and they were like, we have Nintendo Land and it's super fun.
Nintendo Land is like Wii Sports. Only it's not the only fun game on the console.
Well, Wii Sports sold the system. Like, that was the thing. Everyone could play Wii Sports, and they were like, I understand what a Wii is now. I just flail around a little bit.
And then all that potential just got thrown down
the Wii U is, like we've just been saying the past 10 minutes, Ryan keeps saying the Wii. It's the Wii U. But people still aren't separated that. It's like Xbox 360. So somehow that was really obvious what that was. The Wii U looks just kind of like the Wii.
Yeah, it's just
very confusing. And it still uses the old controllers, which is awesome, but it's more confusing.
So
there's a Wii in the Wii U, technically.
So do you think that the Nintendo's new lineup is going to be able to compete with the huge overflow of like Microsoft and Sony people going out and buying consoles? Like, do you think Nintendo's going to be able to, like I said, like hold their own in this piece of the console pie?
They're going to have to put things out faster. Like,
I think they're doing it like once a month now, aren't they?
They were, but so when it came out and it had like Zombie U and it had a bunch of really cool
Steel Diver.
That was the 3DS. But it had like
close though.
Several ones, and people were like, "Oh, look at all these games," and none of them were that great. They didn't have like a really cool one, and they're like, "But Pikmin 3's coming out," and then like, "Well, Pikmin 3's coming out later," and like, "Well, you just missed like your one game that people were waiting on, and now they're still waiting on it. It still hasn't come out." So it's
like they did better than they did with the 3DS because they still had Zombie U, which is cool.
Zombie U was fun.
They had Zombie U, Nintendo Land, which was way more fun than I was expecting it to be, especially if you've got other people.
Animal Crossing game.
And
alliances were forged and friendships were destroyed.
But then,
all in the Animal Crossing town.
Like, I got New Super Mario Bros. U, and that was really good. Like, that kept my interest for a long time. It's not as much fun on multiplayer because you can screw each other over and throw your friends off the cliffs.
I think we've had too much of those games, the New Super Mario Bros. Games, and it's like they need to do something different again.
Well, see, that's why I'm glad for like the new one that's more like Mario 64.
Like 3D whatever land.
Yeah.
Mario, Catsuit Man game,
which is weird, but I think it's cool that they're basically taking Mario 2 and Mario 64 and throwing them into one game. I liked Super Mario 2.
Yeah, well,
I think they have a bunch of good stuff coming up, but I think that Nintendo, and you saw it at E3 when they pulled their conference out, that they're not trying to compete with
Microsoft. See, that's what I think.
Anymore.
They're not trying to compete against the two juggernauts. They're like the guys on the side that say us too, and we'll just
I don't think it's like they're like we're not. They still want to be out there and they still want people to buy it, but they know that they have a market and they know people are going to buy the Wii U later when Super Smash Bros. Comes out.
I don't know.
That's the thing about Nintendo is if you were raised by someone who had a Nintendo or you had one when you were younger, you probably still have Nintendo stuff. Even if you don't have a Wii, if you didn't have one, you probably had a DS. You probably have a 3DS. What they know is they're like, okay, go ahead and buy the PS4 and the Xbox One. Play Destiny, play Watch Dogs. But when you're about to go to bed on that weekend, when you got your buddies over and you don't know what to do, you're gonna
whip out that Vita.
Said no one ever. Said Sony, adding, please.
And then all your friends will be confused and ashamed and leave early. And
what is that?
Tell their mom.
Man, I hate the PSP. But no, you'll still be like, oh, you know what's really fun to do? Oh, we can't play Watch Dogs together, but you know what we can play? Mario Party. Oh, we can play Mario this. And people are still going to be like, oh yeah, well I just went out and bought all these cool games for my PS4. And then suddenly Nintendo's going to be like, hey, we don't want to interrupt your gameplay, but there's a new Metroid game coming out. And everyone's going to be like, hold on, what, Nintendo? You got my full attention. Okay, you guys work on that, and I'm going to come get it. You put that out there, and I'm going to play this until that comes out. So Nintendo doesn't do the whole rushing games out there. They're like, okay, we did that with the Wii, and everything was terrible and wrong.
Well, they know they have to, because even Iwata acknowledged that they haven't explained to the public what a Wii U is well, and that they haven't had enough games out, and that's why they think it's going to happen. I think they've waited way too long, because it's going to be the holiday season.
Yeah.
People are going to be way too excited about Xbox One and PS4.
And there's no good games for the holiday season coming out.
Okay, now, I think we're all in agreement that back in the days that were E3, Sony totally dominated over Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Do we all agree that was the case?
E3 2013?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
they didn't just
They curb stomped him.
They
took the copyrighted Lancer from Gears of War and then used it on their own parents. Of Microsoft. Microsoft is the parents.
Okay, I got
because
you.
they own
thanks.
their copyright.
Thanks. Yeah, I got
okay.
you. But see, like, that was such a thing that I don't think it was just, E3 13 or 2013 was won by Sony. No, that was just such a big victory that it kind of is like a cultural thing now.
But,
like, years
like,
and years, people are gonna be like, remember 2013 when Sony. When E3 was called Sony shows a bunch of cool stuff and no one likes Microsoft.
See, okay, like the thing is I honestly don't think Sony showed that much cool stuff until they're like, oh, by the way, these games okay. But no, like the question that I wanted to get at is that if Microsoft, it's like since Microsoft retracted their policies, is that enough to like balance out the consoles, so to speak? Is there now like a challenge between the two, or did Sony get enough of a lead whenever they stomped all over Microsoft's face that like people aren't going to look back?
So like probably in like December, and they're already planning their E3. Like if they would just showed us what they had then, like Sony probably would have still beat Microsoft. Just like bare basics, remove all the hype about DRM and stuff. They probably still would have won, but not by much. But because Microsoft screwed themselves so badly, Sony took full advantage of it. I don't know if it was the most graceful way. It was the most
no, but
way,
I think that was like the best way to do it. It's like they just come and it's like, hey guys, by the way, used games totally cool. And
they weren't really like mature about it, but at the same time, we were also mad at Microsoft. It didn't really matter.
Like it just they're playing to the crowd heavily, and the whole.
Well, that's another big thing. You market to people's feelings, and they're just like, yeah, we want to make fun of Microsoft too. Yeah. Thanks, Sony, for being our bro.
So. Once you get past that and you step back and look at it, it's like, well, I still, if I had to pick one, would probably pick a PS4 over an Xbox One. But I don't hate the Xbox One.
Right, I like... They
had a stupid policy and they realized it was bad and they changed it.
Okay, now one thing that, the PS4 is kind of like keeping under the table is that they don't exactly have a DRM policy, like for the console, but they've said that like if a company wants to use that same policy, it's like they're going to let them.
Actually, they've since gone back and said that they're keeping with their policy that there's not going to be
okay, no, like the past, you've told me so many articles that
I looked this up because I remembered at the con someone said, well, you guys haven't been paying attention, Sony said this thing too. I went and I looked that up, and from what I've seen, Sony was like, no, guys, you got us wrong. We were thinking about that, but we didn't do it. Because we don't want to do that. If you want to share games and you buy the game, it's yours. We're not doing anything to it.
No, like what I'm saying is like if the DRM on the disc.
Well, yeah, but that's what they said. They said there's not going to be DRM. There's not.
No. There's no way that I don't know. Have you heard anything about this? Because I don't think there's any way that Sony can say like no DRM at all. Because I think that's more of the publisher's decision and not so much Sony's.
What Microsoft was doing was, if you're a developer, I mean, it didn't sound terrible. They were like, look, we're going to protect your product. We're going to make sure that you're getting money from it. And you're like, okay, that sounds not bad. And well, the way we're going to do it is we're going to make the Xbox check in, and it's going to have all these ridiculous measures.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And then you're like, well, okay, I like the idea, but the way you're carrying it out is really poorly. And then Sony, I don't know what Sony's saying, they just got on the hype train and was like, no DRM.
Guys, what?
DRM's bad.
Jumping on this monorail all the way to the fun bus.
It's not bad. It takes so much money to produce games train. Now. And developers desperately need that. And I would like to see them protected somewhat. So if they want to put it on there, they should be able to do it.
One thing Sony totally did that's super awesome is let indie developers self-publish.
Yeah,
that's a good
and
one.
Also they're bringing back
Microsoft still.
They're bringing back Oddworld, which was super cool. Like that was I'm like done, best day ever. But
Microsoft still has the policy that indie developers can't self-publish.
Yeah,
that's still a huge problem because that was like one of the best things about Xbox was they had like
Xbox the indie arcade. Yeah,
and you're like, whoa, look at all these cool like Braid and
what indie games did you play? What indie games did you play on that PlayStation? Journey.
Didn't have one, so
and
I have Soundscapes. It's okay.
That ain't no you Curdy no make you face punching maze game.
Bless you.
From Japin.
But that was like the huge thing for indie developers. Is like, I'm going to either get on Xbox Live Arcade or Steam. Those are my 2 target goals. And then maybe the eShop and PlayStation 4 if we have that much time.
So,
we don't.
one thing...
And they didn't have that.
Yeah.
And now they took it away. PlayStation 4 is the hero of the indies. And it's weird.
The only thing that I'm worried about, like for the PlayStation 4, is that, like, okay, this is going to sound bad, but just everybody... Like, there's no, like, peripheral that it's coming with. It just is... like a games console, and like essentially all it's doing is upgrading RAM and graphics. But I think between, like, we've done that before. We've upgraded RAM and graphics, and it's like, here's the thing. I personally think that for the new consoles, there should be another thing to like bring the players like into the games. Because
they do have their little.
They have a camera.
That's what they chopped off at the very.
Right.
They're like, what else can we do to stab Microsoft while they're down? We can make it cheaper. Take the camera off.
Yeah.
No more camera. And then people kind of forgot there is a camera. And there is a camera, by the way.
Yeah. Doesn't it come with it?
No.
Or just you? Okay. You
That's what you just said.
That's how they made
Well, no,
it
like
cheaper.
I know.
Would you
Like,
pay attention?
Then the X-Bone.
X-Bone.
Which I don't know how they didn't think about.
I don't know why they didn't just call it Xbox the next one. Like, I don't.
Xbox Next.
There.
That sounds kind of you know, flashy and cool.
The kids like these things.
So yeah, they like the word next.
Right.
Remember that TV
They should
show?
call it the iXbox.
What? No, you
Yeah.
can't do that because Apple would be like, oh, get
Yeah,
my
and then
scarves all in a tidbit.
All in the tidbit.
all my scarves and my fancy glasses are getting all tangled because I'm so angry.
Fedora.
Yeah,
And
Don't forget your fedora
your other scarf.
And
and your iPhone's headset.
There you
It's
go.
getting all tangled in there.
I can't hear you because it's so crappy. The headset. Ha ha ha! Good jokes.
I'm just trying to think of what the kids want.
Gotta think about.
So I'm thinking with the Mick Xbox.
It's back. For a limited time.
You just open the disc tray, like fries just pop out.
I'd buy that.
Oh,
that would be sold. It'd be like free fries whenever I want.
Always
Okay.
hot and fresh.
Or it just stops working for periods of time. And then you see, like, it's back!
It's
And a green ring pops up. And
Hey,
you're like,
guess
oh.
what? If your internet connection goes out, that's what would have happened.
Oh.
Oh,
I was hoping someone would. Okay.
So do you think like just upgrading the computer hardware? Yeah, it's hardware. Do you think upgrading the hardware is enough to like substantiate just like
Well, I mean, I like to use my consoles for basically just playing the games. If you
Yeah,
want
I
to
think-
find a peripheral that if the Kinect was like, oh hey, we have this new fighting game, okay, you create a character, you can go online and it reads every one of your moves. The characters will move towards each other automatically, so you don't have to walk, but all punches and kicks will.
See, I'm
just saying for an example.
No,
just for an example. That to me is
like that wouldn't work. Okay, like that's not what I'm talking. That's what everyone keeps using the Kinect for, but it doesn't work like that.
No, listen,
like,
I'm just saying.
No,
You're not listening.
No. Like imagine if they made like, okay, here's like the best Kinect. Here you go, Microsoft. A free idea. You're welcome. It's like they make LA Noir 2, like they call it New York Noir, and like the Kinect reads your face, and like because
It can see your feelings.
yeah, and like like or
It's gonna be like, there's something wrong with it.
Ima-
I had a bad day, Connect.
okay, if they
Tell
put something
me
like,
about it.
you
if they
open
put
the
something
door.
like that in, I would buy an Xbox One. I would do it if it can talk to you and have a conversation with
It's
you.
like you open the door, it like comes up to you, it's like, hey, Leighton, back from the office? It's like, not now, Connect. Like, I almost got fired.
Oh no!
Oh, jeez.
Fall asleep while you're trying to do spreadsheets again, Leighton? Shut up, Xbox, you don't know me.
It's Leighton.
I know.
Xbox, Leighton, Xbox show.
You're wrong, Leighton. The little dot in the middle turns red. I know everything.
Right.
about
Door
you.
closes.
I've taken the liberty
it's like
of hardware.
a steel door. Just
I've hardwired everything in your house to be controlled by the Xbox One.
love
And
me,
then-
love me, love me.
And then on the screen, Don Matrix face bump.
No, it's just
I
like
heard
a
you
slow.
had some
It's just-
complaints.
It's just a slowed down image of like Peter Molyneux just laughing. And you hear, it's the new gaming experience where the Xbox One takes over your household. Touched with your hands. The hands is the futures of gaming.
A bunch of little wires come out of the ground and grip your PS2 and just like crush it.
But I think facial recognition would be like a super cool thing to do. Like you're sitting there and like imagine you're playing like a Heavy Rain or something.
Yeah.
Where you're like emotionally invested and like you get it to the point or where it's like something happens and like you react, or even like in horror games, like if you scream and the Xbox can hear it, like imagine if the other enemies and stuff can like find your position because like I think that would be cool. I don't like the whole like the next fight night you'll be the puncher and then you'll be the real boxing star. Don't leave your couch.
Well, yeah, because
I-
they don't have feedback, and that's always going to be terrible until they have feedback.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that you could see this time, and so the last generation, we had...
Wait. Say it in a cool way.
What?
Say like in the last generation.
In the last generation, we had motion control.
Choo.
And then we had their online services, and that was sort of
Online
like suddenly you have PSN and PS Plus and Xbox Live is still Xbox Live. And then this generation, the biggest thing that you can see that was throughout all three consoles and even the handhelds is multitasking, and that you can have I can be on my 3DS and I can get off it. And
I can
keep
get on my
game up,
Vita.
and I can get on the internet, and you can be on your Vita, and you can be on your playing your game and watching Star Trek and Skyping with your other employees.
Watching your fantasy team.
or recording your PlayStation and sharing it with the share button on your control. So that's like the new thing, and the requirement for that was they needed a lot of upgrade on the RAM and things.
Yeah.
And that's why that was like, well, look at this thing, and then this is what we're doing with it. But you're right, there's not like a huge peripheral. I don't think you need a peripheral though. I think it's at this point in the game, it's software, and you got to have the hardware,
Yeah,
and the software. So that's why they're talking about it.
Software sells consoles.
And
Yeah.
when you're looking at it, who has the cooler software offering?
Wii
Not
U.
software offering, but it's more like the interface.
That wasn't a joke. I think the Wii U is the coolest thing.
It's really, the Miiverse is
Like,
really cool.
it's-
Like,
I thought Miiverse was gonna be really dumb when I first saw it, but then when I
Did
actually
you know
got
that
my Wii U, I
Miiverse
was so excited.
is the combination
wait,
of
you
of
say it.
me.
And universe.
You almost messed it up. You almost did. And
burst.
then Reggie would just burst in this room and just be like,
What's wrong, Reggie?
when
Pikmin 3's still coming out.
that's totally what would happen.
I love Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Punch, punch, punch.
But yeah, so multitasking and connectivity. Those are the big things this generation.
And connectivity.
No.
No.
Anyone? Eh?
I'm going to hit you.
Pun counter?
Dang.
Dang.
Help me.
That's so okay. So you think that just an upgraded and hardware is enough to like be like PlayStation next one?
Yeah.
Well,
And then they have the hardware button, like things to go along with it. I don't know what Microsoft really did with theirs, because like
Well, the
their controller
Kinect is souped up.
is slightly different, and the Kinect is okay. That is their new hardware, awesome thing. That was really cool. Like just
Yeah.
technically,
Okay. Like
I was really excited. To
the
watch that.
Kinect. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm dropping a bomb. The Kinect was cool in Xbox 360. The problem is no one knew how to use it at all. Like when they were showing the limitations of the Kinect, like before.
Do you remember-
it was called Natal
My
or whatever?
favorite thing
What-
was
tell me a story.
this. It was very long ago,
Oh.
and they had this man with a skateboard, and he was holding his skateboard up to the TV, and
Tony
the
Hawk?
TV then scanned his skateboard. Even though his hands were covering the skateboard, it didn't matter. They still saw it. He just has X-ray vision, apparently.
Magic.
And then he like set it on the ground and skateboarded with it. We never got that game because that was impossible.
You got Tony Hawk Ride.
We never got that because that's impossible, and they were like, look, we have this really cool thing.
JK, never mind.
We're going to give it to these really creative people, and they're going to do cool stuff. And the creative people are like, no.
You remember when, like, they're like, Peter Molyneux was like, and look at Milo, but let's go down to this lake here and just splash our hands in the water. You see how it interacts with the human, like, you know, it never did anything. All we got is, like, just dance, and like...
That's really it. You have that one Dragon Ball Z game that's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Punch.
There you go, Bobby. That's the game you suggested right there. Punch it and kicking. That was what we call Punch It Kicks game.
Punch, skit, and
Oh,
squat.
and then they also had that fighter. Was it Fighters Uncaged? Was that?
Yeah.
They have a Star Wars game.
We don't talk about that. Like,
They had one called Children of Eden that was supposed to be pretty cool.
That one,
yeah, but you
was
could also
cool.
play with a controller, so it doesn't count.
Could you really?
Yeah.
God damn it! If I'd known that, I would have bought it.
Like, if you're playing it with a Kinect, though, you feel like a god. It's really cool.
But there really was nothing for the Kinect.
There was nothing.
You had dancing games. That was like the coolest thing.
I'm pretty sure there's some
It
indie
was
game
popular.
that's super cool
It
that
probably
no
is,
one
but it's not important.
that
'cause they
no
didn't
one
market
knows
it well
about.
enough.
Yeah, those
So-
jerks.
But the Kinect 2 or whatever they're calling it looked really, really, really cool.
Connect One.
As long as they're not lying to me again. And they didn't do anything like
Yeah.
Well, as long as Peter Molyneux's not there, we can
We can
probably-
trust.
We have at least a 50-50 chance
Yeah.
of getting what they say.
I don't know. Well, like whatever. It's like whatever. Do you think bundling the Xbox with the TV and all that is like a good step to go?
Xbox with the
Like, you
Kinect.
know, like yeah, like they're like you can watch TV and interact with like.
Oh.
And do you think like that's like a good thing?
Yeah, because that was their they're like, guys, we're gonna make an Xbox, but it's gonna be the one console. No one else is gonna need it.
No one, all the other consoles will die.
You don't even really need it.
We're gonna bury them out into the
You're
desert.
gonna forget you have. You're gonna set this on your cable box and forget about it.
They're just gonna over time they'll meld into
Yeah.
one, and that's why it's called That's why it's not backwards compatible. Because if you just leave it on top of other consoles, it'll just suck it in and use it anyway.
Yo, I love playing, Super Metroid on my Xbox One.
Yeah.
Except then it's like, hey, wait, this is a series or whatever thing, and it just shoots the thing back at you and breaks your
It
nose.
kills you. I used to have this one back when CDs were like first like the thing, and all computers were still made out of rocks and stuff. We got this one CD player, and if you like didn't put the CD in correctly, oh no, phones! Oh no, you're ruining the atmosphere. Are you done? I was gonna.
What?
What? So okay.
What happened?
Okay, so
Computers, new
so
rocks.
if you put the CD in there wrong, it would just shoot it out. Like it wouldn't just like eject it; it would shoot it across the room. And every time me and my dad would try to play Duke Nukem, we'd put it in there and we'd have to duck, just like in case, or like just book it. It was horrifying.
Oh, like with the GameCube, with the Super Game Boy player, you put the Game Boy Advance cartridge in there, and it had that little ejector thing, but it was locked in there so tightly that you had to shove the clip, and it would like launch the Game Boy game across the room. I shot you with one at your house. I did. I hit you in the head.
Or like the PSP. Like the first ones,
Yeah.
Like you could just open it up and it would just like
Chikong!
it would fire the game to North Korea, and they'd have to like contact the U.S. ambassador and be like, "Why are you firing your nuclear vessels at us?"
They'd be like, oh, someone put something in the general direction of North Korea. Obviously, South Korea is attacking. Let's go. Wartime.
So do you have any?
You have terrible Korean accents, by the way.
That was like Russian.
Ah, motherland!
That was a Russian accent too.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
You got the Russian down.
So are you done on your phone?
I'm not on my phone.
Everyone.
Everyone, Layton's lying to you. He's on his phone right now.
He's training to be the new Peter Molyneux.
You can't.
Don't listen to him if you-
Xbox is contacting him at this moment, and it's like, "Hey, you calm down."
Wait a minute, okay, so the person who redacted Xbox's policies, was it Peter Molyneux?
No.
Because if it was, I'm going to be
doesn't
No, he
Like-
just.
he's everywhere!
work at Microsoft.
He does. He's
He
like,
works-
they have him in a cage, and they let him out every now and then because he won't stop shaking the cage going, Fable! Fable!
The last.
There was a Fable game for the Kinect, too.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
And then they
You
had
mean
that,
just like Fable 2, 3, and everything else
and
that
then they
ever
also
that
had
was
that
ever
Fable
done?
game where it's like it was a beat 'em up and it was awful too.
I
And
didn't ever hear about that. I'm glad I didn't.
What's the new name of it? It's like 32 cans.
What?
Like that's the name of his.
22 cans.
Oh,
I think.
like that's
you were
not,
10 off.
that. What?
That's a whole nother company. They make games we don't talk about.
Like they call it 22 cans because that's how many cans of beans are allowed in his food cage at one time.
Look, he made a game about tapping cube.
Did
Changed
anyone
the guy's life.
anyone get in them?
Yes.
What was it?
He gets to be God because Peter Molyneux has that power.
No, what? No.
In his next
no,
game.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. So in what I don't remember what it's called.
Black and white.
No, it's like Mobius. I don't know. It's his
made by
next
Peter
God
Molyneux,
game,
so nobody
and that guy
cares.
gets to be God.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool.
yeah, that's
thing.
pretty cool.
Yeah. The
No,
YouTube
you're-
video, I encourage you to go look it up because it could not be shot with lower quality equipment
Yeah?
than they used.
Yeah, why not?
Because
Why don't you film it with a cardboard box?
they did, I think. The green screen was a cardboard box, and they just individually cut out frames in Photoshop.
No, if Peter Molyneux was like, hey, this guy touches this thing, he gets to be God. No, you're not going to get to be God. You're going to get to be Moses at best.
Yeah.
You might get to be
And
John
only,
the Baptist.
Like, and only in the sequel, because in the first game you're not actually gonna have a god. Oh, that was deep.
Peter
So
Molyneux is still making games. There is no God.
okay, so oh man. Okay, so if you could design a new console, what would you have in it? Go, Zerk.
Basically, it would have the best. Like, you would have no loading times ever.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Wait, are we doing like just
Yeah,
And then
like,
I'm in a
yeah,
virtual.
and then-
I'm in the imaginary.
And then what
and we-
happens is, instead of controller ports, it shoots out holograms, and you interact with them just like on Star Wars.
Yeah, okay.
No, you can't do that. It has to be like,
Why not?
here's a... No, you can't!
Why are you limiting my imagination? You said anything I wanted. You said if I could have anything I wanted in the next console, I want holograms.
No.
I also want a lobster.
What?
Not to eat, just to pet.
Just... Like, it just comes in the disc tray, and...
You gotta be careful,
It just
'cause
takes
of
your game, and it's like... That's how
Thanks,
lobsters
lobster.
sound. It just takes the game and eats it, and when it eats it, it downloads it.
Well, it damn well better have enough RAM that I don't have to have a freaking load time anymore.
Well, yeah, like...
Like, I thought that was the whole point of, like, having your games fucking installed on the PS3. But there's still games that have tons of load
the
time.
only reason there's a load screen on your PSP was just to waste your time. That's it. You gotta install this game.
They gave you the option to install it on the 360, and I did that for one game, and it made absolutely no difference. So I was like, whatever. I didn't like the 360.
I thought 360 was super cool. I liked its controller, and...
I don't like Microsoft as a company, so...
Anything make
So it's kind of hard for me to get over that.
What about you, Leighton? No, what are your practical ideas for the Leighton box?
Lobsters.
For the L box.
L box.
L for lobster. Why are you stifling my creativity?
Well, like I said before, like as far as hardware goes, you don't need, anything spectacular. You need what would be like an average computer right now. Like, unless you just go ahead and buy a PC. PC Master Race.
You can get a Commodore 64,
Yeah,
and
PC Master Race if you're a
sell it
giant
for like
douchebag.
$900.
But it's the software. That's Nintendo's stance. Is they're so confident in their software and their games that they don't even need to make other games. They don't need third-party games.
They'll just make the same ones
And
over
that's
and over.
not a great plan, but that's what it comes down to. Is
Okay,
so as long as it has sufficient RAM to run like a really cool OS, I think what would be really cool on it is if you almost had like an open source system that people could make operating systems
like the
for.
Ouya.
Yeah, and not really like the Ouya or whatever it's called. How do you pronounce it?
Let's
Yeah.
talk
Ouya?
about this thing no
Ouya.
one's gonna buy.
Oh yeah, that was
I know
a console.
people who bought it.
Well, yeah, you work at I'm Leighton, I make indie games.
But
So you're right in the heart of the storm.
they like it. Although it's
Like every
my
person,
understanding, it's an emulator machine.
that's what I've heard. It's like every person that I talk to, it's like, oh man, the Ouya's cool.
And there's one
like
game.
it's always followed up with, I have like 250 emulated games on there.
I'd be okay with that,
Like,
actually.
that's what it is. It's an
like if
emulator
I can
machine.
just go and emulate like every one of my old games, it's pretty cool.
like Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
I had this.
Maximum
I had
Carnage.
this argument with this dude on Reddit over which Maximum Carnage theme was the better one, the Sega Genesis one or the Super Nintendo one, and
Both your arguments are invalid because you're on Reddit. No one likes you.
it's not true.
Nobody likes people who are on Reddit except people who are on Reddit.
Okay. Tell us the websites that you got this information from.
All of them?
No.
Pretty much any site
No.
where you can leave comments, people are like, "Oh, you're from Reddit."
No. Guys, he only got this from Tumblr.
And
No.
Gag.
Yeah.
I don't follow enough people.
Nine gag.
I've been there maybe all of twice.
You heard it here, folks.
I don't follow enough people on Tumblr to get a lot of information on people from Reddit.
But no, the answer clearly is the Sega Genesis one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the end. Thanks for believing me, everybody.
Hear that, Reddit guy? You suck.
You suck. If I had my computer, I would say your name so hard. And he's like, actually, the Super Nintendo one sounds more like the original song by Green Jelly. I'm like, whatever. It sounds like crap. Because they had like the drums, but like the drums are slightly off. And then like it can't do fast guitar riffs, so it's like dun 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 dun.
Jung, 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 jung.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like a Chinese
I
man
remember that
singing a
because I
song.
had the Super Nintendo version.
As opposed to the super cool.
I didn't know
like-
that it had a Genesis version until I had the Super Nintendo one, so, not my bad.
So
Also, I
anyway,
didn't have the
Pikmin 3.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, so do you think Nintendo's just ultimately selling to Nintendo fans at this point, and it's like, guys, you can come join our party if you want, but hey,
They just know they're
I
gonna.
don't think their definition of Nintendo fan would be like fanboy fan. It'd be like people who enjoy playing games.
yeah,
Because they make solid games.
Like,
I mean,
everyone
they
knows-
don't want to buy new Super Mario Brothers 3, 4, Peach's Conquest, Toad's Story, and whatever the next stupid generation of that is. But the ones that they do, like the Wonderful 101,
that's gonna be super
awesome.
cool. Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta
It's gonna
2.
be- I considered buying a Wii U just for Bayonetta 2. Like, I'm not going to because I have too much dignity, but I won't. I almost did.
Well,
I
go ahead
think
and buy Monster Hunter Ultimate too, and then people will be like, "Oh, he wanted the Wii U because there's more than just one game he wants on it."
Nope. I just tell them it's just great. Just like I bought my 3DS just for Animal Crossing, and then everybody's like, "Hey, Fire Emblem's pretty good too," and I'm like, "Okay," and they're not wrong. It was good, but I only bought it for Animal Crossing. I really doubt I'm gonna buy any more games for it.
Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon's really good.
I don't care.
You'd like it. It's a good game. Am I the only person who's played that?
I haven't played it.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good game.
I don't doubt it's good.
yeah. Like I
don't care.
I'm the same way. It's like, oh, is
There's
it
lots
like-
of good games I haven't played.
Yeah, like
Like
Pong, Tekken,
Metal Gear Rising, or what other things you have?
Deadly Premonition.
Deadly Game of Thrones, the game.
Oh,
Coed and Crambia, the game.
you make
Cohort
me
and
so angry.
cranberries. So is there anything else that you guys want to throw in there? Are you getting a PS4?
I'm.
We can all play the
So-
Division.
I think
That looks so cool.
right now I have a Wii U, and I have a decent high-end PC,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, okay, I'm good. I want to play Watch Dogs, play it on the Wii U. I want to play most other games, play it on PC. And then there's gonna be the exclusives, and there's gonna be the cool things the consoles do that you can't do on there. But I made it through
play
this whole
Metal Gear Solid.
generation without having a PS3, and I missed a couple things that I wanted to play, but not I wasn't devastated by it. I wanted to play the Uncharted. I never got to play it, and I'll go back and play it later when it's cheaper. But for next generation, I'm really gonna wait. I'm not devoted yet. I'm not pre-ordering anything. That's for sure.
Just wait it
But
out.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Maybe they can sway me. Maybe Microsoft can win me back. Probably not.
Bro.
Maybe they can.
You can try hard.
So what about you, Zerk? Are you still super biased towards PS4?
Yeah, but not for the same reasons I was. Like, before it was, oh, I don't want DRM shit and all that. And I'm hoping that won't be on the PS4. If it is, that's gonna suck. But, I understand that developers have to protect from pirates. Makes them pretty...
We could do a whole thing about DRM. And
yeah,
like
we could.
How it's dumb.
I don't think it's that dumb.
What?
I think it's necessary.
Oh, well, okay.
People make it... It's... People make stupid things necessary.
We'll do it later. We'll do it live.
But, my thing is basically the reason I don't give a shit that they redacted their statements is because I had a 360. I pretty much know what it's going to be like to have an Xbox One. Sure, you'll have some cool games on there. I'm sure the controller will be great. If you can turn the Kinect off, that's fine. I will, because I have internet, it didn't really hurt me too much to have to check in. It's just it's creepy for one, and I just don't like it. But, everyone's like, oh, well, PS4, you're going to have to pay online. Well, you're going to have to keep doing that on the Xbox One, and it might even be more expensive.
Yeah.
But also, my PS3 had a way...
There's no weight to that argument. Like, you'll have to pay online for the PS4.
What?
First off, it's only $5 a month as opposed to $15.
Yeah.
And you get all these free games.
Yeah, if it's PlayStation Plus, you're going to get lots of cool stuff anyway.
It's like whatever. What does Xbox Live get you?
You get to play online and have 12-year-olds yell at you.
And you can't cancel it because they're never available.
That is another big... This is what I'm saying. I have had a 360. The Xbox One, it's going to have your little tiles or whatever saying, oh, here's what game you just played. Here's what game's in your disc drive. And then here's 1,000 different ads that you don't even care about sports or cars or a movie. And
we didn't even mention sports.
Man, we were doing so good. Our combo was so high. Our Pinocchio combo was so rocking.
The game was the hype.
And the Captain Hook of sports just comes and stabs us with his sword.
You just rambled.
But then you're not gonna be able. Then you're gonna have to jump through hoops.
Yeah, no one has a clue what the hell we're talking about now. They're like, Pinocchio combos. What?
You guys should have been SGC.
Yeah, it was totally rad. There was this super cool Pinocchio game that had one button.
And if you are at our SGC,
thanks for visiting our booth.
Yeah.
Because you probably did, and I probably beat you at Guilty Gear. Unless you're that guy who beat me, in which case I hate you forever.
Forever.
He doesn't. He's been talking about you ever since. I wonder if I'll run into him.
Yeah, I wonder if Guilty Gear Senpai will notice me today. he'll ask me to that kawaii desu dance.
That's what that drunk guy, he kept challenging me to Guilty Gear, and I kept beating him over and over.
It was pretty great.
But, basically, I don't want to deal with Microsoft as a company. I don't want to deal with what I know is going to be in the Xbox One. I'm really hoping the PS4 won't be flooded with ads, because I hate that. It probably will have certain ads, but...
the answer to all the original question is all... When Microsoft redacted its statements, is it enough to gain the fans back? Well, the answer... the answer for us, it all seems to be no. Because I don't trust Microsoft enough now.
I feel like they're still going to put something back in.
Yeah, they're still going to...
Well, you check it every 24 hours.
There's
if you want to use this service we're offering you, like the multitasking thing, then you do. Sorry.
There's always that asterisk that's like, we can change this at any time without...
Also, who's to say that they're not just going to be like, oh yeah, the Kinect thing, it's not going to do all that stuff anymore, but it still, takes all this data about you and sends marketing data back to Microsoft? I'm like... Hell no. I don't even care if it's just marketing data. I don't want something watching me and sending ad stuff back to Microsoft.
Now, okay, is there anything cool that you think the Kinect do that can, redeem the,
that the Kinect can do?
Yeah. What is something that would be, so cool that the Kinect can do that's wow, that's super cool?
They just gotta put out some really really neat software for it.
If
they can do that.
What is the neat software? Give me
well,
something
like what you were saying, you're playing a horror game where your buttons are used for maybe fighting and things like that, but you come up to a door and you can push it open with your hand, or if you scream, the enemies are oh, where did that scream come from?
I don't want as a player, I don't want to have to take my hand off the controller to.
Well, I'm just saying little things that can immerse you a little bit more in the game. It doesn't have to be like that, but what you said, if you like jump, something jumps out at you and you're like, whoa, and then you kill whatever jumped at you, but like, oh, you just went, whoa, here come all the zombies.
Yeah, like I think the Kinect would be cool as like, you know, when if you can forget that it's there, but like, you know, having it still interact with the game, I think like that's when it'll be the most powerful. Like when it's just doing facial recognition.
Oh goodness!
And like, you know, like
that was close.
Like heart rate monitoring and stuff like that. I think if you put that in a game, and you don't have to like, you know, put your foot up in the air to go through this door, or duck under to duck under.
Just it working right
would have been
when he got up there and he used it and like.
I really don't. I really don't think it was a live demo.
No, believe it. And when he did that, I was like, okay, I could use, because I have a Kinect and we've used it and we're like swiping our arm back.
I have no problem with that.
You
like,
don't, but everyone else does.
I'm okay with doing that with like, I think that's cool with like menus and stuff. Like if I'm on the Xbox Live Arcade or something, I'm looking through games. If I can like flick my finger up and look through a big list, or I can like kind of swipe over a little bit to go through some stuff, and I can like just kind of tap my finger. And like it opens something up for me. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
The Vita does that. I feel
Doing
so
this
cool.
Is still more effort than using my thumbs.
Yeah.
So it doesn't win me over. Like,
I'm just saying, for some people, that's okay.
I want to have to.
Cool, but like it works so well that it's like the idea of it actually working correctly is cool. But then I think about it and I'm saying like, oh,
it's like
I still, if I'm going to talk to it, I can't just be like next. I have to go Xbox next. Xbox.
And talking is so hard when you're sitting.
They should have called it the Xbox Next.
Well, it's not that.
We win.
It's just not. It's still not as intuitive as it needs to be like the super awesome thing that makes me want to buy it.
Right now, we are on the cusp of it being cool.
Oh well, maybe.
See, they just gotta take away the creepy aspects of it, downplay them completely to where people will actually believe. And then they have to do other stuff too, so that people can actually believe what they say. That way when they say, guys, the Kinect isn't as creepy as you think, and people are like, oh, well, I guess. And like, okay, look, it's not creepy, and here's this really cool game. Here's everything the Kinect will help you do in this game. This is how it's going to put you in there. It's going to make you feel like you're there. It's going to be intense. Then I could be like, you know what, Microsoft, okay, alright, I kind of feel bad I don't have an Xbox One now, because I'd like to give this kind of game a shot. That's what they would really need to come up with, some really badass software.
See, I like I said, I'm kind of let's whatever. I'm kind of like excited for the Kinect because I think that can be like the one thing that makes the Xbox One really stand out. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, you can't do that with any of the other consoles because it has all the extra stuff. But like, it can't rely on just that.
Yeah.
Okay,
it has
so
to be.
Yeah, every time a new console comes out, like we've seen like the graphic comparisons of like Oblivion and Skyrim, and you see like, whoa, those run the same console.
Yeah.
But they're like miles apart, and it's because they have that development era. The first developers who go in there and do it, they're the first ones to do it. Usually they don't even know what they're making it for.
Yeah.
They've been working on it so that it comes out at launch, and it's this kind of weird and it works technically thing. So that's why like for Nintendo to have a third-party title to come out at their launch game, that was really weird. And that was probably a big thing for Ubisoft to actually have to do.
Yeah.
So whoever does it for the Kinect and whatever the new Kinect game is probably going to be doing that. They're taking a big risk. And we could get that really cool game that you're talking about.
Yeah, we could get
in like 5 years if everyone was constantly making Kinect games. But they're not going to. There's going to be select companies that Microsoft hires to make Kinect games. And they're not going to make that progress of like exponentially awesomer stuff over time. It's just going to be like the same thing, but done differently.
Because it, like,
because they're not figuring out anything new. They're not.
We know dance games sell.
Yeah,
and fitness.
They're gonna make better dance games.
Yeah.
Hey, Dance Dance Revolution can be popular again, right?
No, never again. So
it's I don't think it's the future of games.
So wrapping up, you're still undecided about consoles. You're getting a PS4, right?
I'm getting a PS4, but I don't hate the Xbox One as much as I did.
Yeah,
I just think that they marketed it so badly that at this point you can't. You're gonna have to try super hard to gain that trust back and not make me think it is some kind of super creepy ad machine.
Yeah, I think I'm still kind of leaning towards the PS4 because I don't want to spend that extra $100, and also like, you know, I think it's time for Sony to reign supreme again. Like, they've learned from the mistakes that they had from the PS3, because, you know, it didn't do so well as the Xbox, but now it's using that again. And, like, Xbox hasn't really had that kind of, like, stumbling period. So they're still kind of like in the...
here we are.
Yeah, they're like, look at all this cool... Oh, everyone hates us now.
Yeah,
but,
you could have waited to stumble, you know, when the console was out.
But you know, I'm excited to see... Hopefully the Kinect can do some pretty cool stuff. So, anyone else want to yell anything else out before the end?
Chant words together!
That didn't count.
No one chanted it.
No one else chanted it.
No one chanted.
Wow, way to just bring...
You guys made me look like a
way
fool.
to bring the mood just crashing down.